Future Hacker. Life. Path. Future.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the second episode with Ligia Zotini at Future Hacker. So, Ligia, I heard you are one more guest that decided to ship yourself. Hold on, so is that correct?
Yes, it is.
I have 3 questions for you. When, how, and why?
And there is a 4th one. Do you believe in God?
And another one, were you actually able to use it somehow to hack whatever you're trying to, you know?
The question is simple. No, like most of the time it doesn't work, but I can explain. It's a chip in my left hand. It's like as small as a rice bean, you know, and it is not a GPS. It's basically a near-field communication technology. It's the same technology in your credit card, for example. It sent small part of information to a device, usually an Android device. Apple doesn't read this kind of technology freely and openly. But if you have an Android mobile phone, you can simply get close to my hand. It's going to pop up my contact to you. You just save. Basically, is what it does today. Some of my friends could, code this kind of small technology in their smart locker so they can open their doors just with the hand, kind of a, Jedi thing. But by now, this kind of chip is just useless. Why I did what I did, and when I did like almost 3 years ago. It was a kind of a hype among the futuristic people here in São Paulo. So if you are in this small bubble, everyone has their rice in their hands. But basically, I did what I did because here at Voices, we like people to put their hands on the machine. I think the only way to get prepared to the future is experience, and technology is a big part of it. So when we are in physical events, we bring all the machines together, all the glasses, all the artificial intelligence, all the neuro scanners, and the chip in my hand is part of this show, So people usually get very excited, but most of them are afraid of put technology inside their bodies. I did, and if you go to YouTube, Voicers YouTube, you're going to see there the day I turned into cyborg. I did the implant live. So at the moment I did, of course, the main question was, what is it for? But the second question was, if I believe in God, because all those prophecies of, you cannot buy or sell without the beast mark. And seems like just a joke, but it was not. People come to me in private and ask it about those things. And this just demonstrates how afraid and mythical technology is to most of common people. So we definitely need to work on give access, because by the moment they understand, by the moment they touch, they put their hands on, I think the whole future open up in front of them. And I can see the faces, I can see the looks, and this is amazing. So that's the reason I put this in my head.
And that's so interesting how something like that could make people question faith, right? I honestly would never think about that as a question. Do you believe in God? But when you are somehow already involved in the technology world, you kind of get it. But it's very interesting to see the reactions to that. And, I hope we can keep following up with you, because soon you're going to be doing all the tricks and scaring more people around you.
Yeah, I think the only part of my body I would not put any chip on is my brain. People ask me if I'm going to put the Neuralink. The Neuralink is the technology of Elon Musk. Right?
I'm going to ask this question again in 10 years to see, because I don't believe you. I don't think you're going to. I think you have to try somehow,
I have a way out, just because I think there are a lot of things we need to learn about the brain, Maria. And it's not only about the physical part, but mainly about consciousness. I like how Yuval Harari, the writer, says about the consciousness ocean, is the part that makes us different from the machine, is our consciousness. And somehow the consciousness lives in the brain, or at least start by that part of my body. So by the moment we unlock all this physical consciousness, invisible part of me, maybe I will consider. Maybe in 10 years we do this, and in 10 years I will accept it to put the chip. But by now, everything that I add on me, it's going to be from the neck down. And Facebook has a way out of this because they just bought a technology, which is a kind of bracelet. This bracelet does similar things from the Neuralink things. They both want to move things in the digital world by the thoughts, by the mind. And they also want to send small pieces of information from your thinking process. So one is an implant, but the other is a bracelet, because the explanation is every thought you have, they produce micro movements that can be censored or recepted by those bracelets. So I prefer to be with the bracelet by now.
I think it's a wise decision. Okay, moving on. You know what? Something else that I love in your speech is that you put humans as protagonists in leading the evolution of the future of technologies, right? So instead of the cyberpunk view of the future in which we end up being victims of our own creations, it's more about the construction of our own better version to increase the sense of humanity. You know, how could we drive that road? You know, I'm just asking easy questions, right?
Yes.
But, you know, those are things that you've been researching about and talking about. So, you know, I'm sure you have some thoughts to share, right?
Sure. And we say here in Voicers that we kind of fight against or fight back the Black Mirror effect, which is the Black Mirror effect, that Netflix TV show. Could be the Matrix effect or the Terminator effect, whatever is the narrative that put the best of technology with the worst part of human beings, you know. Those are always dystopic narratives, or as you said, the cyberpunk narratives. We really like the solar punk narratives, which gives the human being the protagonism. I can lead my own future. But it's not just a way of saying or putting. We can see, since the big changing which internet brought us at the beginning of 2000, and the big jump we received it or we got when we turned it into mobile first. It was around 2012. So I think those two technologies, mobile technology, smartphones, and data package together brought us a whole new world. So I think the Mayans, you know, that ancient civilizations that used to say that 2012 the world would end, I think they were right. The world ended, and a digital part of it just helped us to recreate new ways of living. But jokes apart, the same quantity of new ways of doing business, of apps, and exchanging the messages or ways of living in this digital world happened from 2012 to now. Like how many apps and platforms appeared in the last decade? A lot. Those are the technology paths. But when you see the human paths, 10 years ago, we barely talk about our emotions. We are still afraid or ashamed to talk that we do therapy, psychological therapy, for example. When you start to have a relationship with someone, friend or a date, you used to just see if the person was a good one, hardworking, nice guy or girl. But nowadays, it's pretty common to see how is the mental health of this person. And there are some forward people that also ask how is the energetic part of this person. So the same amount of apps that happened because of this digital evolution or revolution is the same amount of therapy to help people to understand their feelings, their emotions, their energy around us. You know, and those kind of path of self-knowledge, self-expansion, for me, is the right combination for not dystopic futures. By the moment we have very powerful technology, we also going to have 20 years of people get to know themselves, getting to be their best version year over year. And I can see many cures, many healing process, emotional, physical, energetic. I don't know what do you believe in the invisible world, but we are more freely and open to talk about those things too. And at the future, I think we don't need Neuralink to, transmit or send thoughts to another person. We're going to be so, expanded. We are going to be more sensitive to the others, that you're going to capture the thoughts, not with sheeps, but I think with sensibility, I can see that movement happening in the pillar of human beings. We are eating better, or at least we are worried more about eating better, sleeping better. What is the procedence of the water? What is the origin of the clothes we are buying? And all the emotions we are feeling and all the energy we are sending and receiving. All those things together make us human, more human. So I think that's a little of the path to this more positive future or futures.
You are actually the very first person that, we've been talking to so many people and futurists and people that are somehow either involved with the future technologies or drawing those future scenarios. You're the very first one that brings up this side of energy and chakras and the brain potential, which I love. So being very honest with me, is there any chance this could be achieved without the use of very hard drugs? Or should we just be covering the future of drugs as well?
Awesome. All the psychedelics doors of perceptions, right? I think there is. It's not like LSD or MD or this kind of what we call here in Brazil, the medicines from the forest, right? The Indians medicine, which also give us another state of consciousness. But there is also a lot of meditation, which gives you just breathing the same effect of different states of consciousness. So I think all the time that you touch, I truly believe that we are made of many bodies, okay? In your physical bodies, you have your muscles, you have your bones, you have your bloody bodies and systems. When you see in a virtual reality, you can see that they are different bodies, right? And I also believe that you have softer bodies, which is more energetic part. I honestly don't get into the spiritual part because I think it's a faith thing, but I definitely believe in energy, like Chinese medicine, Indian medicine. They always researcher and heal people using this energy, which is in the body. We can feel it. And the Russian scientists just, they have the Kirlian machine that you can take pictures of your aura. So I like a lot the Russian approach because there, they don't have a religion due to the communists. So whatever is the movements of the invisible, metaphysical, they start as science. So they have machines which can provide and prove we have energy. So I think we definitely need to go way more into it in the future. And I truly believe that because of these physical bodies and the softer bodies are still here in the West, and are put into the religion and the spiritual box, we just get a lot troubles putting those things together. But I think that's my mission. Remember, when I was 15, I got the computer and I got the goddess, the astronaut goddess, and the pyramids and all those ancient civilizations I've been and I visited. They're all about energy. They're all about the invisible. And I think that's going to be the most futuristic movement we're going to get. Put the invisible, the energy, all the systems together with technology. And I don't think we need only this psychedelics and drugs. We can do with this meditation, with this eating better, with getting to know our bodies and emotions and vibrations. And it could be done by light therapy, by sound therapy. There are a lot of healings using this kind of invisible things. It's all there. Air is invisible. You can meditate breathing. Sound is invisible. You can do sound healing sections. Colors are softer. You can do chromotherapy and you can feel in your body the invisible. Or you can take an experience in the VR Oculus from Facebook and you can see your body like blue, and you're going to fly over the Google Maps, landing in any part of the planet, and you're going to feel in your body, your digital body, which is going to help you to understand the invisible bodies.
I absolutely love it. Thank you. Okay, so going back to the physical world, right? There's all those biohacking techniques to augment our capabilities. So you mentioned the brain expansion from Elon Musk, but also any other technique that can enhance vision or, strength, using this exoskeleton or whatever it's out there to make us able to do more, superhumans or cyborgs, I say that. How to compete with the very few people that will have access to those technology improvements? And what will meritocracy be turned into with this type of fusion? What's your thought?
Jesus. If we keep the same way we organize society today, it's going to be two different worlds, and they are never cross path again. If money by this level of, competition or enragement in your own body, turning you into superhuman, there's no way to compete with that. Some experience in military already prove us when they put the glasses of night vision and they can see. I was in Sedona in 2018 in Arizona, in that desert, and I was in a UFO group in order to see all those unidentified flying objects. And I was using this level of technology. You can see very like 100 kilometers up to the sky. It's very high. And I could see the objects flying that were not identified, with this kind of technology. Why I'm saying you that? Because it's very advanced already. Our military around the planet, they have already this differentiation, When you put this into civil part, and at civil part you buy with money, definitely we are lost. If you don't have access to those technology and they're going to turn themselves into cyborgs, embracing their physical abilities, it's going to take a lot of time doing meditation to erase the same thing without that, So I truly believe in the human pillar. I truly believe that the hacking are made inside out. Ligia, I have a level of influence in my ecosystem, but I'm not a worldwide known person. I'm not a billionaire. I'm not this human, so I cannot hack the billionaire world. I cannot hack the worldwide famous world. I can hack my own world. So I can see examples of very famous people, billionaires, hacking their own ecosystems. And again, based on the young generation coming after us, we are going to forward those hackers and they are going to be faster and faster. But again, these are scenarios, we need to see them in order to believe in them, in order to make them happen. And the claim is, if a technology can make a human better, it has to be access to anyone who needs. Otherwise, we have movies showing us what happened to the ones who doesn't have the money or the access to this kind of things.
Ligia, it was so lovely talking to you. I just feel that I could be spending my whole afternoon just talking. I wanted to have more questions, but unfortunately we are out of time. Do you have any final advice for the future hackers out there that are listening to you right now?
I do. First, thank you for the opportunity to speak to a broader audience. It's not every day that I have the chance to speak to no Portuguese speakers, so it's definitely special to me today here. And my invitation is always to get to know human technology. The technology made from the mechanical, the machines, we're going to get to know. They are going to sell to us. They are going to let us know if they're available to be used. Can be delayed a little bit because you are in a country that is not in some part of the world, or maybe you don't have all the money to buy in the first edition, but it's going to come. In 20 years, it's going to be there. So my invitation is get to know the most powerful machine I know, which is the human body. And we are barely touching the surface. We have been used as machine for so long. We have been an industrial routine, like 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, over and over and over, that we need a detox of all those industrial concepts, and starting to understand what is in this machine, what is around us, what is my physical body, what's my emotional body, what's my energetic body, and get to know there are a lot of tools to help you to be your best version over and over and over again from the next 20 years. And I think you're going to face the opportunity to say, okay, this virtual reality or immersive reality is nice, but my meditation, my expanding thoughts, or whatever is the experience you're having with your own body technology, it's going to be also amazing. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be way better than any silicon technology we are going to make in the next 20 years. So putting the two together, we expand technology, we expand people, we solve problems very fast. Put only silicon technology first, we're probably going to have the disruptive, dystopic future we are working against. So my last words are going to be this, Maria. Work in your best version. It's going to be very needed in the future.
Love it. Thank you, Ligia. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Future Hacker. Life. Path. Future.